I didn't start. Thank you for the welcome, and thank you to give me the opportunity to talk about ontologies, and more specifically, ontologies in actions. So the idea is how to use ontology to unify a universe. So as you saw in GaiaX, GaiaX is a federative frameworks with many pieces, and today we will focus on how to converge all of these parts with focusing on the data space supercenters, and to deal with the data transactions, and also with, because it's the end of the game finally, how this could be done with business data. So a best way to federate, to unify a universe is to use an interoperable format, such as W3C ontology frameworks with OWL, RDF. And in fact, there's only few pieces, but helps to catch the knowledge of human to make it available for a computer. So the first piece, well known, are the classes, also called terms, where you can put a concept, in fact. Then you can make a hierarchy of all your classes in things we call taxonomy. And all the classes are subclasses of another one. That means that there is some itinerance between the higher classes to the lower classes, such vertebrate animals, mammals, and Homo sapiens sapiens. Then, when you get many taxonomies, you can link them together with object properties, which is logical axioms, and then you have a conceptual model. So you can have here an animal taxonomies, and here a food taxonomies, and what animals eat, which could be other animals. And with these logical rules, you have the conceptual model, and you can add also data properties which link to data type at the conceptual level. So this is really useful for the computer, but for human, it's not so easy. So we can use also annotation properties to link with literal to a controlled vocabulary. So it's where you can put your glossaries. So you have the labels, the synonyms, the definitions, the traceability, whatever you want. This is annotation properties are not inherent in the taxonomy, while object properties or data properties are. And finally, as this conceptual model just takes sense if you put it with some individuals, which is a kind of data, but representative data. The idea is that here is possibilities, it's an abstract word, and here is facts with the real world. And the idea is to connect the abstract world to the real world to control the real world. So individuals have to follow the conceptual model with the same object properties, and then where data type are in the conceptual model, there become value in the individual model, which is called the knowledge graph. And usually there is a misunderstanding between knowledge graph and ontology, but it is a part of. So mainly we have the control vocabulary to be human understandable, the conceptual model to deal with all, and the fact to be observed and queried. So this is really abstract. So let's imagine a scenario to put to use with these pieces. So a scenario about data transactions between three aerospace companies. And the idea is to use the GaiaX universe to share business data, but with some governance and rule governance. So we have in this scenario four participants, two data providers, so EngineWorks and Aeroparts, one data user called maintenance hub, and a governance authority called governance body. And to work together, they need the three domains we talked about before, represented by their namespace. So the GaiaX entity, the data space support centers, and also we take an example in aerospace with a DecadeX entity. So if we take the different pieces of our ontology puzzle and this scenario, we can obtain this kind of things on the ontology protégé editor. I don't know if someone use it. It's not very friendly, but it's very, very powerful, and with the time we love it. And so you can find here the class in yellow. Here you have a hierarchy, which is one of the taxonomy. Here we have also the GaiaX entity taxonomy, and here services taxonomies. Here we are on the data product provider. So according to the data space support center glossary, we have the label data product providers and consensual definitions made by DSCC. So data product provider is a party that acts on behalf of data produced owner in providing, managing, and maintaining a data product in the data space. And here we have the conceptual model. That means that it's linked a part of these classes together. So data product providers provide some data product. So data product, I think, is somewhere. It is here. And also, as I talk about inherencies, party in the data space have to adhere to some rule books. And so our data produce provider inherents about the fact that you have to adhere to some rule books. And you can see here, in gray the namespace of the data product provider, which is a data space name, but could be included in the GaiaX entity universe. And finally, here we have the DecadeX entity, which are business concepts. And finally, here, I'm sorry, I didn't imagine there is a sofa. There are the individuals I talk about, and individuals, in fact, are linked in the knowledge graph, which is here. And so here is a conceptual model, and here are the facts. Is that the aero parts manufacturing incorporations adheres to aerospace data space rulebooks and provides turbine performance data product. So here fact, which follows the rules of the conceptual model. And also, as you see, a data product provider has a name, and you finally see a name, Aero Parts Manufacturing Inc. So here is the piece of the puzzle for our scenario. And the knowledge graph here is not easy to read. Fortunately, we can watch graph, which is not so much easier. But the idea is that here is a data space key concept, and you can find the party, the participant, the data product provider, and here is now our data product provider who provide some turbines data to manufacturing hub service, which is a service provider who can use the data according to the rule books, which is somewhere. And so you can find on our data product provider the same definitions and the same labels as mentioned previously. And according to the service provider, you can extend the graph to the business data. And then, it's not easy to read. So we have some things to query about this ontology, which is called the Sparkle language. So here we have a question: which are the transactions between participants? So you have to write a Sparkle query, and then you have here the ID of the transactions, the participants, so the providers and the consumer, and also the type of data product. As we are linked to business data, you can also make some Sparkle queries to have, so what are the value of aircraft engines performance? Here are the measurements for the vibrations, temperature of EGT, fuel flow, rotation speed, and also the traceability at the moment where the measurements were taken. So you can ask the graph, but you have to know all the graph, and you have to know how to write in Sparkle, which is not so easy. And fortunately, since a couple of years, there is a generative AI who helps for that. So it can go to natural language to Sparkle queries, and then to give back the information. So if you ask which are all the data space participants and which roles do they play, you find back Aeropart Manufacturing as a data product provider, Engine Work Aviation as a data product provider too, Aerospace Data Space Governance Authority as a governance authority, and Maintenance Hub Service as a data product consumer. And while taking all the graph together, we have a warning about data compliance that all participants adhere to the Aero rulebooks, which is quite good. And then, if you ask for more details on the data transactions, here you find the data transactions with their name. So the data product is the turbine performance data product, and here is the engine maintenance log data product. So the idea is just to translate natural language in Sparkle queries with all the knowledge of the graph. And so you can also ask for business data, so which engine is the highest risk in the next 20 flights, and what preventive action do you recommend? And finally, taking into account the turbine measurement we had, he can evaluate a risk. And also is able to explain the results thanks to the ontology, because he can catch all the graph. So it's not generative AI. Generative AI is just used to translate natural language in Sparkle, and then he can cross in Sparkle to explain the result. And finally, the idea is that this whole ontology at the first, with Gaia X universe, data space, support centers, part, and including the glossary and some imaging business data, you can ask all the graph together. So you can verify if the governance is respected, know the different applied policies, which are the participants, and having answer with some business answer, but also some data product utilizations and data governance. And just to finish, is that the Gaia X federative ontology allows fully operational demonstration that the data space blueprint could be applied to real industrial domain in a federative frameworks, which could be cross organizations. It's something end-to-end transparency through explainable reasoning. So it's not just queries; it's also justifiable answer, which increase the trust of your answer. You can always ask to some justifications, and it could be a business acceleration through a knowledge-driven operation. for different business, and it ensures all these things in a compliance framework, which is able to control the trust, the sovereignty, and the accountability across the different participants. And so, finally, because I don't know how many times I spoke. So the idea is that the ontological data space is not just for exchange data, but it is capable of reasoning about the data automatically, respecting the rules and helping humans to make better decisions. So that's it for me to present ontology in action. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lot. I was wondering, so the DSSC is developing an ontology, or you intend to put the conceptual model of the DSSC into the GAIX ontology?
It's a mix of both. The idea is to build an ontology from the glossary, which is a consensual knowledge of the DSSC, and then to integrate it with the GAIA-X ontology. The idea is to combine, to make a unified ontology, to have a whole overview of what has happened in this context of knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, this is ongoing work, actually. So the DSSC started to have a glossary, so that's only the human-readable part, but we want to automate it. GAIX is also always for automation. So this is ongoing part, and we need to align, both Vincent and myself, in the DSSC project, how to take that to completion. We don't exactly know to what extent we will be able to unify everything, because the DSSC is very, very low-key on recommendations. It's more like, oh, this is the information out there, and we just curate, we just, like a museum of actual things. It's not so much prescriptive. So let's see how far we get. Our aim is to have a single ontology. Because if we have 5 different, everyone's confused. But that's the aim of us. I can't promise that we will be able to get the agreement on all the stakeholders there.
Okay. I think it would be interesting also with Henning to get in touch on that point, because in Aerospecifics this is what we started, to extend the GAIX ontology to describe our ecosystems. And but the data product we keep it on our side because it's pure ecosystem specific, the data product ontology.
I suggest we connect afterwards,
yeah.
And take that, because this would be the example of co-innovation, co-development, really with an ecosystem.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we are prepared, GAIX is prepared to do that. The board of directors knows and supports that. So this is also for other ecosystems an invitation to connect. And if you directly connect with me, then it's technical. So we are maybe a little bit faster than compliance.
Okay.